Since I like going back and listening to my old thoughts, I'm currently in the process of re-uploading some of my older videos in order to make them more compliant with YouTube's policies on reused content. But since I didn't want to do a lot of editing, here is the audio from my original review for this movie.
9 years have passed since the release of Toy Story 3, a movie which perfectly and flawlessly reached a satisfying and definitive conclusion with its characters. And yet, it was still given a sequel, and that sequel is out in theaters right now. So, I never thought that a Toy Story 4 should have ever been made. If you couldn't tell, I, like any rational human being, fucking adore the Toy Story franchise. And I just didn't want something as perfect as the Toy Story trilogy to be tarnished by a fourth entry in the series. We all remember Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Phantom Menace. They both pale in comparison to their respective predecessors. And yet, somehow, Pixar proved why they are the animation studio to beat, because Toy Story 4 may just be remembered as one of the best movies of 2019. The last time we saw Woody and the gang, they were saying their final farewells to Andy and being introduced to their new loving owner, Bonnie. And that's pretty much where this movie picks up. Bonnie is about to start kindergarten, and her family goes on a little road trip before the school year starts. Now, one of the reasons I resisted the idea of being open to another Toy Story movie is because I was doubtful of how new and engaging the material could actually be. There's only so many ideas that can be used with toys, right? It's only a matter of time before these movies start repeating the same narrative arcs and we get tired of all the redundancy. The toys have kids, the kids grow old, and the toys find a new kid. Rinse and repeat, a cyclical journey forced to go on forever and ever. But surprisingly, that's not what happens in Toy Story 4. This movie is all about Woody. Yes, we get a new main character like Forky, but I'll get to him in just a second. Woody has always been the central focus of these movies. He struggled with jealousy in the first film, he contemplated his own legacy while fearing the inevitability of saying goodbye to a loved one in the second film, and he came to terms with who he was as a person and finally learned how to let go and say goodbye in the third film. So now he kind of finds himself in a weird position in life, one where he doesn't have as much purpose as he used to. And the path he finds himself on in Toy Story 4 feels satisfying for him. He's trying to find a new meaning in life, and that just felt right for Woody. The story arc itself may be a bit predictable, but just because it was predictable doesn't mean it was any less rewarding to watch. Woody of course has a slew of new characters to interact with, and though I thought it might have been late in the game to introduce so many new characters into the franchise, I actually loved all of them. Ducky and Bunny are hysterical. Giggles McDimples is an adorable yet spunky breath of fresh air. Duke Kaboom is exciting and also quite funny. Gabby Gabby is an interesting villain that is far more fleshed out in comparison to Sid, Stinky Pete, and Lotso. And Forky, of course, is one of the best characters in the entire damn movie, maybe in the whole franchise. Anyone who was Andy's age during the release of the first two Toy Story films can probably relate to Forky's existential dread. I never thought I could empathize so heavily with a spork as I contemplate the meaning of life and what purpose I may have in it. And yet I did. I fucking love that spork. And the voice cast used to bring these characters to life are great as well. Key and Peele steal the show, Keanu Reeves can do no wrong, and Annie Potts even returns to do the voice of Bo Peep, who is a much different character now than she ever was before, having a free-spirited nature that felt like a rejuvenation for not only her own character, but for toys in this universe in general. And of course, returning voice actors like Tom Hanks and Tim Allen do an outstanding job as well. It was even nice to hear new music from Randy Newman too. That man is a musical genius, and his songs are just iconic. However, since we do get to see so many new characters take center stage, we don't get to see much of the old gang. If you just look at the film's poster, you could have deduced that the old gang probably wasn't in the movie much, and that was kind of disappointing. I mean, it's not like Slinky or Evil Dr. Porkchop or Rex ever had that much character development to begin with, but still, these guys had beautiful send-offs in Toy Story 3, and here, they literally have nothing to do. Jessie is one of my favorite characters, probably because Toy Story 2 is my favorite movie in the franchise, and When Somebody Loved Me is one of the best and most heartbreaking songs in cinematic history, making her character endlessly empathetic. And she really doesn't get much to do in this movie. Hell, Buzz Lightyear, arguably the secondary protagonist in the entire series, is even dumbed down to a frustrating degree. I don't know, I just wish these characters had more to do than just say a line or two. Otherwise, they probably could have just sat this movie out entirely. On a side note, how old are these toys by now? Like 25 years plus? Have you ever seen a toy that's 25 years old? They look like absolute garbage. And yet these toys look like mint condition straight out of the box. They don't even have any wear and tear or cuts and bruises of any kind. What kind of universe is this, where toys can be 30 years old without any signs of aging, and a sport can be a toy? It's totally unbelievable, and the very concept ruined my enjoyment of the film completely. Obviously I'm joking, but on a much more serious note, I do get it. These new toy characters are meant to be for a new generation of kids for potentially newer Toy Story sequels. On paper, and without having seen Toy Story 4, that statement could sound rather cynical. But after having seen the movie, I'm honestly excited to see where this franchise could possibly go. And again, that's coming from the guy who never wanted a Toy Story 4 to begin with. That's what happens when Pixar takes their time to develop the right story and take it in the right direction. Speaking of Pixar, I'd be remiss if I did not mention how beautiful this movie looks. Like, holy shit. The backgrounds and textures look damn near photorealistic at this point. I'm sure their animation studio is just flexing for the sake of flexing. Like, did you see the cat in the trailer? That cat looks like a real, living, breathing fucking cat. Pixar has surely come a long way from the aesthetic found in the first Toy Story film. Yet their charm and wit and maturity and love and passion for character-driven storytelling remains the same. So, is Toy Story 4 worth seeing? Duh! It's a Toy Story movie. Go out and see it already if you haven't. It's been an abysmal summer movie-going season so far, and Pixar just came to lighten up the place with their endearing nature. Everything you've come to love and expect from a Pixar film is in this movie. Currently, Toy Story 4 might be my least favorite Toy Story film, but that's not a fair assessment. I've only seen the movie once. In comparison, I've seen the other films hundreds of times by now. Every sound effect and frame and line of dialogue is embedded into my brain. I need time to see how this new movie will age. But as of now, this movie probably solidifies Toy Story as one of the best film franchises of all time. Nothing compares, and I can't wait to see it again, because I would probably give Toy Story 4 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching.